guys, it's Tracy. I hope you're doing well. So this is actually part 2 of my achy breaky heart. And I guess you're probably wondering why I wanted to go ahead and share my story about my heart conditions now. And that is because I needed to transition into the part 2 fairly quickly. So some of you may know I actually had a really bad sinus infection back in February. And when you have a fever, usually your heart rate is elevated just a little bit. But I noticed that when mine was elevated, it kind of stayed elevated. So for a little bit of time after, my heart rate would, go up a little bit to, the high hundreds, not the low high hundreds, just the teens, nothing major. And it would come back down. And it just happened, a few days here and there, and it would go back to normal. Well, then a few months into it, I guess about April, it was doing it again. Now I would get hot out in the sun, and the sun was triggering it. And it would do it again, like 115 here, here and there. Nothing major, but enough to where I thought, I should probably address it. Because of COVID, and we were trying to handle the curve in the hospitals, I called the nurse line, and they said, well, normally, under normal circumstances, we'd have you go to urgent care, but we've sent all of our staff to the hospital, and there isn't anyone to read an EKG at urgent care, so you need to go to the ER. So I went to the ER in April, and my EKG showed that I had some arrhythmia, I had some PVCs, which are some extra and early heartbeats. And so unfortunately they thought it might just be stress. In fact, the ER doctor said it was just COVID related stress because they were seeing a lot of patients coming in with stress due to COVID. So that didn't really satisfy me, but I had nothing, but I couldn't do anything about it but go home. So next few days, weeks, I still had the, increased heart rate that would come and go. It was very similar to when I was first actually diagnosed at the age of 19. It was coming and going. Nowhere near the heart rate of like a 186, thank goodness, but it was definitely starting to, the tachycardia was definitely coming back here and there. So a few weeks ago, I'd say about 7 weeks ago, with all of my supporting local businesses, we went to a new sushi place, and I picked up a parasite. Not so good on my tummy. And all of the tummy action triggered my heart again. And it was very uncomfortable, and also I got a little dehydrated. And that dehydration also puts a little stress on your heart and cause more tachycardia. So my general practitioner said, yes, let's go ahead and get you in for a cardiologist referral. So I went into the doctor's office last Thursday so I could get a referral to the cardiologist. And when I was in there, my heart rate went from like 127 to 289 to 92 down to 44. So it decided to show off, and it got me a fun ride in the ambulance to the ER. But what happens when I get to the ER? It decides to behave itself. So it thought it would show off for the GP and decided to behave itself for the ER doc. So after a few hours of observation, they decided to release me. I saw my new cardiologist on Monday, and now I have this fun friend, an event monitor that I will be wearing for the next 30 days. So in some of my videos, you might be seeing me wear it. I don't know if I'm going to have it on around my neck or if I'm going to be wearing it on my hip. So I guess it just depends. But anyway, if it shows up in some of my pictures, that's what it's going to be. So this time around, I've had the supraventricular tachycardia, we're assuming what it is, because when I was actually in the cardiologist's office. I had some tachycardia, and we did an EKG, and we saw that it was increased. We also did see that I had those PVCs, which are those increased and extra heartbeats. And I've also had what appears to be some lower heart rate, but we're not quite 100% sure if that's what it is. But with this trusty monitor, we will know. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. I'm actually doing pretty well. I've been pretty scared actually for the last few weeks. It's been pretty scary because I just didn't know exactly what it was, because I haven't experienced the low heart rate, or what felt like low heart rate, where I felt like I had this deceleration in my heart. Felt like I was downshifting, and then it would be like a heavy thud, and then I wouldn't feel it for a little while. And then of course I would check it on my heart monitor on my phone, and it would be like 30 beats per minute or 32. And actually when the EMT showed up to the doctor's office on Thursday, when they checked it, it was 40. So the thing is when an EKG is used, they can see all of the beats, whereas what an EMT uses and what a doctor's office might have, and even what phones use, they can't always pick up all of the heartbeats. So those PVCs aren't always picked up. But anyway, I just wanted to share this with you guys, and I will keep you posted, and we'll go from there. Bye guys.